it's Dale again. Today I'm going to show you my flower stitch foot. A lot of people have them, not quite sure how to use them. People are always fascinated by all the flowers and things that I do. This is a little piece that I made because I wrote a book on using the flower stitch foot because it fascinates me. It's a very old foot. It was probably around before any of the modern ones. It was originally a Janome foot, but now it's a generic foot. And so this is actually using one thread, our thread Indian Splendor. It just shows you how a thread works in its variegations, that if it's well dyed and well matched in colours, so many colours you can get out of that one set of embroidery threads. Now the foot is a very easy foot. All you need is a machine with a low shank. And I'll show you how to do it, but I'll show you a few examples first of how I've used it. So sometimes I make them. It's got a little thing here where you can, I'll show you with mine, you can move the gizmo from wide to a wide stitch to a narrow stitch, and you can use any stitch on your machine to play with it. So things like when I've made them, I might put them on my work, so the big ones and little ones. I might make them just quite wide, the wide one with zigzag. It's really good for feeding cords and things through. And then I've used it on pieces like this, just to surround. What I do when I've finished, I often stitch on Kuhn felt, and then I take my soldering iron and burn out holes. And I do lots of these, so I keep them in little bags of what I've got. And then I've used them in my work, so here they are down the side of this little piece. And this one here, I've used them across the bottom for features. So you've got all sorts of, this is using a thread called Stonehaven, and you can see the different stitches that I've used. I'll explain that in a minute. But how you can vary your work, it makes it very individualist, and it's not just an automatic pattern, it just works on whatever you have in your machine. And this one here is just, making things for danglies and such, and putting them on for button tops and all that sort of thing. But now I'll show you how I use it. You've got your machine, it's on, got the feed dogs down, so they've dropped them, and the machine's got a little shank, so I've put on a low shank on this Bernina. It's not a Bernina foot, but it does like this machine. It fits over the thing there, the lever goes over the top, you just wind her up to tighten it. I don't know all the machines it works on or not, but your machine, if it's able to have a low shank, it will work. Now I stitch up lots and lots on Kuhn felt, then later on I'll cut them all up, I'll burn them out with my soldering iron. And so, just getting ready to go. And if you look on my machine, I've used this little stitch. It's this sort of knit seam stitch. And then I've just dropped my feed dogs and start her up. And it's going to be quite a big one because I haven't turned it around properly. So that's a great big one. Just fix that up because I don't like that. But just so you can see. And I'll just take it to, it should be right on that. That again. Around it goes to make quite a big one. And I go around twice because it gives me the colours that I want. And then I'll move it down, I'll move it across to this one here, and I'll move to the next stitch along, which is actually just a cross stitch. It doesn't really matter what stitch you've got on your machine, but you can use every single stitch that is on your machine, and in my book I talk about all of that. You can also place little ones inside big ones. Doing that if you really want to. And then I'll go down here on this machine. It has different patterns. Your machine will have something else. This is a little sort of daisy one. Let's see what happens when I do this one. And it will go around, and basically is that it will turn up back at the same spot it started. about twice, and you can see what happens to that little daisy stitch. That's a very attractive stitch as well. Now if I change it to numbers and do D, because obviously that's my initial, it'll do sort of wacky things. It'll go around making an interesting stitch. Round we go. And if you have a look here, you can have hours of fun playing with a different stitch. I'll take you back to just plain zigzag, and around it goes, as in a plain zigzag stitch. Now this is really good to make little things for threading cords through and so on. And I'll have a look at another one here. This one here, whatever it is. And I just like to work through them all and see what happens. They don't have to all be the same. And you can see this one here. So that's how it looks. So if you've got the foot, use it. If you haven't, well obviously you can always buy it from us. But it's a fabulous foot and it's one I use a lot. Hope that was useful. Cheerio.